I'll let you into a little secret. And that's this. If you want to grow your accounting firm, and if you want to position yourself as the expert to talk to, then you absolutely must get into video marketing. The thing is though, very few accountants are doing it because they think it's difficult. So I've got a real treat for you. In this interview, I'm going to be interviewing Max Alter. And Max is an expert in video marketing and he helps accountants with their videos. So let's go over and listen to what Max has got to tell us about video. See you soon. Okay, so welcome everybody. I'm really excited this time because I've got Max Alter on the show, and Max is an expert in video, which is something so close to my heart. Video marketing, I think, is something that's so powerful. But let me just start, Max, by it'd just be interesting to get a little bit of background about you, and also how did you get into video?
I was always interested in photography from very early on. At uni, that dates me a little bit now, I was the only one who frequently used the darkroom. Then afterwards I dropped in and out, and when I got into internet marketing quite a lot, I discovered video for my own purposes. And then I combined my interest with video and photography and everything, and I started doing online video for clients, and from there the whole thing developed. And also the technology became so much cheaper, everything became so much easier. The first video I created for myself just for fun with my little digital camera with a video capability, and that was years ago, so it wasn't that hard, plus a soundtrack from YouTube, combined it in Windows Movie Maker, and I had real fun with that. And from this I went on and I was doing videos for clients. I did a video which is reasonably successful, which has by now over 14,000 views on Barbie dolls houses, for instance, and others which have just shot up. I discovered the amazing power of videos to rank high, which would take ages to rank a website or a web page, because you can't run websites, you rank web pages. Instead of waiting for ages, you do a video, you embed it, you do all the bits and pieces properly. And from there on, and focusing and targeting a much more niche market, and I started working with accountants. So I got into my videos for accountants and content creation, and all focused around video, because nowadays that's a must. That's my view.
Yeah, okay, fascinating. Thanks, Max, for that. And there's a couple of things I might pick up on later. But I do know that you've just written a really interesting blog, and so it maybe we explore some of the things in that blog. But perhaps to start off with, give me your thoughts, if you could, on why do you think video marketing is so important for accountants to get involved with?
Okay, actually, I would like to take it one step back.
Sure.
And the reason why I want to take it one step back is this thing here, which I have got. Sorry, let me angle it. It's our Thomson local pages. Can you see how thick it is? It came through the letterbox. Not many years ago, we used yellow pages as door stoppers. Nowadays, Thomson Local Pages has got hardly any content. Why? Because everybody's online. Now, accountants, for example, have also discovered that years ago, and they all have websites. However, it's a little bit sad sometimes, the accountancy website scene, and that's not my words. That's accountants who told me that. That's the one side. The other side is nowadays, if you want to stand out from the grey mass of hundreds and thousands of websites, you need to do something. And if you look at any accountancy-related query in Google in the UK, there isn't a thumbnail, there is no picture, there is nothing. So as soon as you have a video on there, you stand out from the crowd. And you will attract, never mind where you are on the page, you will attract the lion's share of the clicks in the free organic ranking, not the ones on the side, which is the AdWords. Now that's the one thing. The other thing is accountancy, as we all know, is a little bit of a dry topic. So it doesn't make fascinating reason. It's not a thriller. It's not a novel or anything like that. If you use video intelligently on your accountancy website, you basically use what a novel and a thriller does, namely you tell a story with a video. And once you do this, you engage your viewer and you start establishing a relationship with them to the extent that even if they have never met you, they already know you. Finally, and we're just sort of rushing through the whole thing right now, we can go in detail. If you upload the video properly, it will future-proof your website, because on YouTube, videos are viewable on any platform, all mobile platforms, while most accountancy websites are not yet mobile compatible. But as long as you have a video on there, and your viewer clicks on the video, it pops up on the full screen, and all you need to do is embed your contact details in the video, and that's it. Whether it's nicely viewable on that platform on your website or not, then doesn't matter, because they get the full view, they get the sound, they get the emotion, they get everything. So video has really become a must nowadays.
Yeah. Yeah, you've mentioned lots of good points there, and I think the first of those is the fact that video is engaging, and I think the reason for that is the fact that it touches on all the different modalities. So there are some people who are very visual people, some people are more kinesthetic, and some are auditory, and if your information is all given out by way of written information, newsletters and so on, you're only touching on one of those for the audio people. The visual people need something more. And the great thing about video is it captures all of those things. So you appeal to a far wider audience. In fact, you can appeal to everybody, which you can't do if all you're doing is conveying information in print.
Yeah, absolutely. What I like to do and what I do for my clients, I combine everything. So you have, just as an example, you have a particular topic, and that's one of my hobbies. It should not be an esoteric accountancy topic. It should be a very simple, basic, straightforward, because people who are looking for information online are not your CFOs who are by training accountants and who now need something very sophisticated. They want to know what is a limited company, or what are dividends, or this sort of stuff. And if you give a definition, if you explain some examples, the tax implications, you do this in a summary form in a video. And then you have the blog post where the video is embedded. People who like video will watch it. If they want to know more, they can click and come and contact you through your website. People who don't like video can scroll down and read the whole thing, and at the end of it, there should be a call to action. There should be a box where they can put name and email address in, and your phone number, or they can pick up the phone and call you. So once this is all done, you literally cover all the bases, the people, the total left-brainers who just want to read, or the people who are interested by stories. And that's the one thing which we all are as human beings. We are hardwired for storytelling. The campfire, the fire around the cave and whatever, and storytelling, it's still there, and we can just make use of it. And if it's done intelligently and properly, then it's fantastic.
Sure, yeah. Now, you touched on a little while earlier about rankings and SEO, and something really, really big happened back in, if I got the facts right, 2006. That was when Google acquired YouTube for, I think it was a little short of $2 billion. I think it was $1.65 billion. And that has had a huge impact on the importance of video. Just give me your thoughts on that, your take on SEO and ranking, and where video fits into all of that.
You've already mentioned the most important aspect of it. Google bought YouTube. Now, at the time, YouTube wasn't what it is now, namely the second largest search engine. So Google effectively owns the two largest search engines in the world. That's the one thing. Because it bought YouTube, and it bought YouTube for many reasons. But Google loves video. So if you put a video on your website, you upload it to YouTube, you embed it on your website, you optimize your video properly for YouTube, which means it has a title. You have keywords, and the keywords it's always used as a terrible technical term. A keyword is nothing else but the search term somebody puts into the box on the Google homepage when they're looking for something. So if you have an article about limited company, about umbrella companies or whatever, just put umbrella company in the title. Try to have it in the file name of the video. Have it in the file name of the blog post on your website you're sending people to. Have it in your articles. Have it in the tags. It's all fairly simple and straightforward. And there are some more tricks which we can go into if you want to later on. So once this is properly done, and then it's embedded on your website, and there's an article about the same topic, so there is relevance. What Google wants nowadays, above all, is relevant content. And this is a quality article, not a 200-word, brief, nonsensical article. Real quality article. If that's on your website, also optimized, and you then go and tweet it so that people who follow you on Twitter, and you should have a Twitter account, know about it. You have a Facebook page. You are, as an accountant, you should definitely be a member of LinkedIn and join several groups there and publish the fact that you publish something in the LinkedIn. Then there will be social verification, social linking from these groups, which Google now values more and more towards your website, towards your YouTube video, and then that you keep doing it, and then that really helps your website rank. And given what the accountancy scene nowadays is like, your website will stand out a mile, which basically means that people find you or looking for it, you will rank, you will stand out, they click on you, because our eyes are drawn to images on search results pages, particularly if yours is the only image. And nowadays, as an accountant, if you have a video and a thumbnail, you'll be the only one, period.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's always interested me that business owners and accountants, they're kind of obsessed with getting to number one on Google, and understandably, it's a good thing to do. But to do it, they spend a fortune on IT
SEO.
Consultants to get them there, on SEO, and it very often fails, and it's an expensive waste of time. And yet with YouTube, with intelligent use of the keywords like you've said, it's the fastest way to get to the top without having to involve any third-party experts charging a fortune for SEO marketing. You can do it yourself with YouTube.
Yes, a couple of years ago, that was enough. Nowadays, it's become more difficult in the sense of just putting a video up is not enough. You need to do a little bit of social networking around it. That's why I mentioned Twitter. That's why I mentioned Facebook. That's why I mentioned LinkedIn. There is, in my personal view, depending on who you are targeting as your audience, if you're targeting teenies, you need to go to Pinterest and other related sites. If you are targeting businesses who are in whatever more in the business-to-business sector, leave Pinterest alone. They are not there, but they definitely are on LinkedIn. They are on Facebook. They may well be on some other networking sites where you can go and contribute and inform people that you have published an article. Then there is another thing you can do. You've published an article with embedded video. You have an email list of all your clients. And what you do is very simply, you send an email to your clients and tell them, look, I've just put out a video on my blog on this particular topic. They will go there, and then Google sees, because Google sees everything, then Google sees that there is traffic from all sorts of directions coming to the YouTube video or coming to your blog post and to that particular, and that helps the ranking. And you don't have to spend a lot of money. You just need to get a little bit organized, or if you want to, you can just outsource the lot.
Exactly right. You've got to generate traffic, and
yes,
it's not difficult to do. I think the key is to do it systematically. It's about having a system, and if you combine it with what you just mentioned, outsourcing. So just to give you an example of something I do, every time I post a video onto YouTube, whilst the content's fresh in my mind, I'll write a short paragraph with some value-added content in there, followed by a link to the video, and then I outsource it to my personal assistant, and they go through all the LinkedIn groups that I'm part of, and over a period of 2-3 weeks, they post the post that took me 2-3 minutes to write, and that systematically goes across the 30-40 LinkedIn groups I'm at, and that's one of the ways that I drive traffic to a video. But you're right, you do have to link all the various social media things together and have a strategy, have systems to make it work.
And you can simplify it because there are now tools. Some are paid, some are even free, who help you do it. So once a month you line up. You can use Hootsuite, for example.
Yes.
And you line up your tweets, you line up your Facebook posts, whatever, and you can schedule them, and then they will go out automatically. You don't have to do anything, and you spend an hour writing them, because once you get into the flow of writing them, then it's quick to get 20 or 30 done.
Yes.
And you don't have to have hundreds. And then so within an hour, you can have your social posting of a whole month done, schedule, and forget about it. And then during the month, you will come across some questions that your clients ask. And just make a note and produce some answers. And that's already next month's topic. Straightforward.
Yeah.
And not very difficult, rather than going into some really, for an accountant, for example, interesting, sophisticated topics about accountancy procedures and tax write-off and whatever. And because the UK is fabulous with this vast legislation on accountancy and the rules and regulations, which are billion, you can write to your heart's content, and nobody else apart from you and a few accountants are interested in that, and that's not your target market, which is very important. Don't forget, your target market are the people who you want to come to you to ask questions and then to ask you to help them.
Yes, yeah. And one of the objections I often get from accountants is, I can understand I've got to drive traffic to my videos and do LinkedIn posts and so on, but I just haven't got the time, I'm too busy. But the thing about all that, that's all kind of the mechanics, that's all the mechanics. Once you've created the content, which is, as the accountant, that's your expertise, the rest of it is so outsourceable, as you've said. It's about having the systems, outsourcing it. You don't need to do it all yourself.
Absolutely. You can even get the content. And there is no problem. For instance, you can get content which has already been published by others as well. How many accountants have articles about VAT or corporation tax or whatever on their website? None of them are original. HMRC is not original in what they put on their website, but HMRC ranks. Not because they're the originator, but because everybody writes about it. So there is not a problem of what's commonly known as the duplicate content problem. It's syndicated content. Reuters syndicates content, and then hundreds of news platforms like newspapers and radio and television channels in one way or another all publish the same stuff. And depending where they are, it all ranks, and Google doesn't punish them for that at all. So that is not a problem. So you can get the content, just make sure that it is appropriate. And maybe I'd like to get back to video right now, because there's another hobby horse I'm riding. The type of video some accountants produce. Now, anybody who actually goes out of their way to produce a video, hat off, it's absolutely fantastic. I'm not knocking them at all. But they need to take into account that the era of the ugly video is finished. Mm-hmm. There are hundreds of millions of ugly videos on YouTube. There is a sea of ugly videos, so if you want to produce a proper video and stand out, there are certain things which you have to take into account. Now, your video doesn't have to be the Hollywood-style video.
Definitely not, no.
Not at all. Quite on the contrary, a famous example which I tend to use is if you're a high street jeweler, and you have a video on your website that is a Cartier or Tiffany's-like video, very, very sleek, very Hollywood style, and one of your potential customers sees the video on your website, what do they think? Ah, this looks expensive. But if I want expensive, I go to Bond Street and not to High Street. So this kind of video for the high street jeweler is counterproductive. If, on the other hand, it's a simpler video where he's seen serving clients, where he's seen doing some work in his workshop, and where he explains things, that will draw in the clients which he wants. And it's not who he wants, and it's not just the clients who don't spend any money, but it's the clients who would go to a local high street jewelers, and they develop a relationship with them, they engage with them, and then selling to them and developing the trust is so much easier. And there are a few minimum standards which you have to adhere to if you want to produce these videos. Now, I have produced a list of top 10 tips, and later at the end, Mark, you'll give out the download. It's a free download. People can have that. So if you want to produce your own videos, or if you're outsourcing the videos, as long as these top 10 tips are adhered to, you can rest assured your videos are good enough, more than good enough for today's use. Shall we go into my top tip?
Yeah, I think it'd be great if you could share a couple of those tips, and then I might chip in with a couple of tips myself as well. So yeah, share a few. Okay.
Now, my top tip, and I'm not the only one, there are some very, very big online video gurus who share that, is the most important aspect of a video that you must get right is the sound.
Correct. Yeah.
If the image isn't 100%, your viewers will forgive you. If the sound isn't good, your viewers will click away at a rate that is so fast you haven't seen anything like it, because people are highly intolerant. When you hear something and you see something, your mind's eye will reconstruct the visual from what you hear. Your mind's ear will not be able to reconstruct the audio content from what you see, if the audio content is bad. Therefore, people just click away very fast. And online, it's very fast. 5-6 seconds and they're gone if it's really bad sound. So that's number one. Your sound has to be really good. And number two relates to some of it what I just said, is keep it short. In particular, don't produce long intros to a video. People like to have some flashy titles and everything going on for 15, 20, 30 seconds. That's the kiss of death for online viewing. Don't forget, you're not in the cinema. People haven't paid £10 or £5 or whatever to watch your movie. They're sitting in the dark, in the seat. They can't get away. And now you can force them to look at your intro, which is all After Effects and all this sort of stuff, and glowing and exploding and all over the place. Here, at the very latest, within 10 seconds, you have to be on message, which means within 10 seconds, your viewers have to know what the video is about.
Yes.
If your intro is 15 seconds long, you've missed it.
Yes.
It's as simple as that. But on the other hand, that makes it easy, because you have a simple introduction, which it can already contain information about you, and then you go and talk about the video. Even better, you start off cold. Just, hello, today I want to tell you about da-da-da-da-da, blah, blah. And then you bring your intro. You've already told them. You show your intro, which is your branding.
Yeah.
And then the video starts. And you have them. They will want to watch it if they're interested in the particular topic, of course.
Yeah.
If they're not interested, you don't want them to watch it. So these two tips, I think, are very, very important. You capture at least 50 to 80% of the really bad videos suffer from these two faults.
I would agree 100% with those two. The audio is so important. With your second point, when I teach accountants how to do video, I get them to think about James Bond. When you go to watch the James Bond film, straight away you're hooked,
yes,
because they have something that just grabs you long before the credits. So when I talk about the formula, the structure for doing a video, you want to make sure that you grab them in, as you say, the first 10 seconds. So what you want to do is make sure that you give the audience the big benefit. Why do they need to watch that video? What are they going to get out of it? And that wants to come before you have any sort of introduction with your logo spinning and your brand image. So you've got to grab them straight away, because people have short attention spans. In particular, if they're watching videos on YouTube, people do tend to be browsing, so you do have to grab them straight away.
Yes, absolutely.
I'd agree.
But even on your own website, because don't forget, if it's a video, I mean, I know you know it, but for our viewers, don't forget, if it's a YouTube video that is embedded, there's always the little YouTube logo in the corner, and people can click and they go to YouTube and they're gone from your website.
That's right.
So you really want to engage them and give them a good enough reason to give you another 10 seconds. And another 10 seconds, and this is how stories are told. This is why I said right at the beginning that we are hardwired for stories. So if you can tell a story with your video, and that's what you should, then everything is fine.
Okay, great. So those two tips are really good, and I'm certainly looking forward to getting your list of 10 tips. Let me just chuck in two very quick ones myself, which may or may not be on your list of 10. But my other two tips are: make sure that if you're going to do a video, that it's packed full of valuable content, because you want to build a reputation of delivering value. If all you're doing is promoting your practice and saying all the wonderful things you're doing, people are going to switch off straight away. So you've got to give content. And the second tip I've got, which also fits into the video form I talk about, is every video that you do, yes, it's got to deliver lots of content. I'd say 70 to 80% of it has to be content, but also think about what's the purpose of the video, and therefore what's the call to action. What do you want them to do as a result of watching that video, which might be to pick up the phone, it might be to go to your website to get a free copy of your book, to link in with you on LinkedIn, but you must have at least one call to action in the video. So that were my two tips.
Absolutely, and the call to action should be at the end. And here's let's put out a bonus tip. What I always do with my videos, I have the call to action lasting 20 to 30 seconds at the end. People are not going to watch right to the end. But what many people doing who put videos out, they have the phone up, the website up, and then 3 seconds later it's gone. Nobody has the time to take these details down. Yeah. So leave it there for a long time. If they get bored, they click away, but they have enough time to take your details down and to contact you. And that's very important.
Okay, some great stuff there, Max, and I'm just conscious of the time now. What I think will be really useful, now I know that you're doing some great things in the area of video for accountants, so I think it'll be really useful to explain, firstly, what is it that you're doing with accountants in the area of video, and then secondly, what should they do next if they want to contact you, if they want to find out more?
Okay, thank you. Yes. Well, as you already said, I do videos for accountants. That's my website. And I have actually taken on board what I said. So what I do is I produce content for accountants' websites. Content that accountant clients want. What's an umbrella company, deductible business expenses, sole trader versus limited company, how to change accountants, etc., etc. These are articles, quality articles, longer ones, which is fine, because people can read them if they want to. But at the top of each article is a summary video, which is basically all graphic based, but not again over the top. When you see them, you know what I mean. So what I give accountants is quality, engaging content with calls to action at the end, where people go to and find information they are looking for. Let me give you one brief example. When I was looking at accountancy websites quite a while ago to see what's happening, I came across a blog post by an accountant up in Huddersfield on the how to structure in a limited company your income with your 7,000 per year plus then dividends and stuff like that. or all these sort of things. That's the first time that I've actually seen this on an accountant's website. Now, I'm in Northwest London. He's up in Huddersfield. I'm not going to go to an accountant in Huddersfield. That's a little bit too far. But if I had been anywhere vaguely near in the area, I would have contacted them and talked to them and perhaps given them my business. And that's entirely the point of this kind of basic information. As I said before, listen to your clients. And from that point of view, I'm an accountant's client. I'm answering the questions that I have. So I produce the content, I produce the video. So that's one aspect what I do. I can also produce an entire video marketing campaign for accountants, or a video campaign, which can be marketing, which can just be information publishing, content marketing, basically. It's what it is. You give out useful information, but this time it's specifically structured for your practice. Nobody else will be obviously able to get it. It is your video, it's your content, but I make sure that each video is properly structured so that it achieves its goal, and I also make sure that the whole video marketing campaign is coherent in itself over the period of time for which you want to run it. So I bring this expertise into that so that you don't have to look out for it. You don't have to learn how to write copy, how to write stories, how to do the videos. You provide the content, and I make sure that that content is put across on your website so that people want to come in and visit you and want to come and talk to you. And then I'm just starting another one, which is an interview type program, Proactive TV, which is a brand new program. So I will talk about it at some other stage when it's slightly more advanced.
Okay, that's brilliant, Max. That sounds like a massive time saver for accountants, and certainly I would say that everyone watching this, if you're not yet started with video, you need to jump on that bandwagon quick.
One question I didn't answer, of course, is there anything I have for accountants? Yes, I do. As I mentioned before, my top 10 tips for online video.
That's fine. I'll put the link on the screen, but I'll also put the link below this video as well somewhere. So have a look somewhere around the video. You'll find some various links to Max's stuff.
Yeah, so I just repeat what I said. So it's on Big Videos Local top 10, and what you'll get there is my top 10 tips to look out for. Either if you want to do video yourself, then you should really stick to those to make sure, to ensure success, or even if you don't want to do videos yourself, you outsource your videos, but you want to keep quality control. You want to know that your videographer or whoever does your videos actually knows what they're doing and they're delivering something which will deliver for you. And therefore, make sure that these top 10 tips, that they know them. And you'll be surprised how many people don't. Very brief example, a friend had a website here it's not for accountants, it's for solicitors, and he does training for solicitors, and he had a beautiful video on there. And he asked me for my opinion about the video. I watched it, and all I could ask him is, yes, and then what? The videographer forgot to put the call to action in. Very simple. Expensive video, and suddenly no structure and no call to action. So what's the point of it? On a website where they want to entice people to go and book a high-price seminar. So you need to pay attention, and all this is in the 10 tips. So at least use it as a checklist. Video comes, you give them that. And when the video comes back, you look at it and say, oh, you didn't do this, you didn't do this, you didn't do this. Go away and do it, because that's part of the brief. And you can download this for free from our website, and we'll display the download link.
That's fantastic, Max. Thank you. And I'll certainly be grabbing my copy of that checklist as well, because I know it's going to be really, really valuable. So that just leaves me to say thank you so much for coming on the show, Max, and we'll speak again soon. Okay,
my pleasure. Thank you, Mark. It was a real great pleasure talking to you today.
Thank you, Max. Goodbye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.